Aside from Juan Soto, Kodai Senga did not get off to a great start tonight. Gave up a couple of runs in the first inning and then another in the second, but then he settled down beautifully and he got the Mets through 6 innings, giving up 5 hits and 3 runs. He wanted that 6th inning, went out there and he got that 6th inning. 100 pitches, back-to-back games, over 100 pitches here for Kodai Senga as we hear from him right now.
Kodai, what were you able to find as the game progressed tonight?
試合が進むにつれて何を見つけられましたか？風だったりいろいろな環境の中でうまく立ち上がりができなくて、先々点を与えてしまったっていう部分もありましたけど、後半何とか試合を作りたいという思いでマウンドにいたので、それができてよかったかなと思います。
Yeah, the first couple of innings with the wind and just the environment in general, I was having a hard time executing my pitches, but I wanted to go out there, stay in the game, and make it a winnable game, and I was able to stay out there for a good amount.
After that 5th inning, it looked like right away you were pointing to the dugout that you wanted one more. What in that moment made you want to do that?
5回終了の時にベンチに向かってあと1回あと1回っていう風なサインがあったと思うんですけど、どういう思いでしたか？この感覚だったらいけるなと思いましたし、まだ90ぐらいだったかな、だったんで、大丈夫だなと思いながら、なかなかイニングも投げれてなかったですし、ワンアウトでも多く投げたいなと思ったので、うまく3つアウト取れてよかったなと思います。
Yeah, I felt good at that point. I felt pretty confident with the feel that I had. I felt like I could go back out there. I think I was at around 90 pitches, and I want to get as many outs as possible for the team. I haven't been able to contribute in the innings side as much. I was able to get those 3 outs, so it was good.
You spoke a little bit about the wind. What in particular was difficult about that, and how do you kind of adjust through that?
風に対してどういうアジャストをしましたか？どういう難しさがありましたか？風、久しぶりにああいう風を受けたなという、日本の時もありましたけど、久しぶりにああいうのを受けて、なかなかそれを意識しすぎた部分もありましたし、うまく合ってなかったんですけど、自分の経験をもとにやってきたことを出したことが、後半壊さなかった要因かなと思います。
I had pitched in a stadium with a lot of wind before in Japan, but it's been a while. So maybe I was thinking about it a little too much in terms of mechanics, but throughout the game I was able to adjust a little bit, and that latter half I was able to find it.
Is there a particular pitch that's most influenced by those types of conditions?
風に特に影響される球種とかってありますか？やっぱりまっすぐも高めに行きやすいですし、フォークも低めに落ちすぎちゃうとか、いろいろ要因もあるんですけど、そこの中でストライクゾーンを探すのがいっぱいいっぱいで、本当に試合を壊さずにギリギリいけたっていうのは良かったですけど、最初の感じだとやっぱ危ないので、最近ああいう試合にならないようにしたいなというふうに思います。
Yeah, there are various things like the heater can go up higher, the forkball can drop a lot sooner, and it was a battle trying to figure that out. And I was glad that I was able to grind through it and find 6 innings.
Do you need to adjust your mechanics in conditions like this, or is it important to keep the same mechanics and not let the wind bother you?
こういう環境の中では、その環境に対してのアジャストしながらのメカニクスなのか、逆にメカニクスを変えないようにっていう、対応なのか。今日の後半は変えて自分の中でどうやったら勝負できるかっていうのを探した中で、なんとかできたかなと思うので、本当に先に点を与える試合が多いですし、こういうふうに立ち上がりから点を取られるということをなくさないとなかなかいい試合になっていかないなというふうに改めて思いました。
In terms of today, it was changing mechanics to adapt to the wind, but given those first couple innings, I let them score first, and when that happens, it's hard to win games, so I need to get better at that.
I thought it was interesting to hear Kodai Senga say he had a hard time executing those first couple of innings when the wind was really blustery tonight at Fenway Park. But then he did settle down and he got through 6 innings, and I give him a lot of credit. How did he do it, Todd?
Well, I think you're right, and the wind, is not just a factor because it's blowing in your face or something. It dries out your hands, and you can see it struggling with the grip. He spiked a couple of balls trying to overthrow and overgrip. He spiked the slider. He spiked the ghost fork like 55 feet, and then he finally got it settling down, and you can see a change in the swings that were being taken against him. And you start out with him, and he's got that great ghost fork, but this one stays in the zone just long enough for Trevor Story to get the big base hit. He faces Trevor Story again in the 3rd inning, and then he gets the slider right there. That's the foul ball. And then I like this ghost fork down and in, and he comes right back in. This is where I said it looked like he was starting to get a feel for it, because that one started in the zone and then went out of the zone in the 6th inning. He comes in after 5. He's like, give me that 6th inning. I want it. And wanted he did, and he came back out. And I'm showing some of the out pitches here. Backdoor cutter, nicely done. A little high five for Pete after the error before. I like to see that. I think the guys need to play loose. Nice play right there by Brett Beatty on the short hop. And then he finishes his outing. He's fired up about that. I love that. And then he finishes his outing with another good strikeout on the ghost fork right there. But, you know, he didn't have his greatest stuff. He struggled, as we've seen him do. That's the thing. I call him Houdini, because he gets himself out of, you know, the worst. He is an escaped artist. But tonight, I think it looked like he was trying to go to a different combination of pitches. Last time we saw he had absolute domination with the forkball. This time, he decided to mix it up until he got a feel for that forkball.
Yeah, how about that? Last time out against Pirates, 41 of his pitches were ghost forks. He scaled that back tonight, 25 ghost forks. What about the usage and the repertoire and the way he used it tonight?
Well, I think part of it is that he tried to use it early to get out pitches and get swings and miss, and it wasn't happening. And so he had to go to the other pitches, and that's pretty interesting to see him 25% for 3 different pitches. The cutter became an effective pitch. He used it front door and back door, and he was able to get back in counts with that to when he finally started getting the ghost fork going. Most of that 25% of the ghost fork was after that 3rd inning, when he started finally figuring it out, and the grip was a little bit better after the wind had died down a little. So just a good job of finding a way to navigate, being a pro out there, and knowing that if he doesn't have his best stuff, he still has the capability and the tools to navigate his way through 6 innings and give this team a chance to win.
When it's all said and done, Kodai Senga is the losing pitcher tonight. He came in with an ERA of 1.02. It goes up just a little bit to 1.43 on the season. He has been off the charts for the Mets. Time for us to go inside the stats right now, and notable Mets with runners in scoring position this season. These are key guys who have struggled in those situations. Lindor, Juan Soto, Mark Vientos has had a tough go much of the season in those situations. So let's get thoughts of the manager. Here's Carlos Mendoza.
Carlos, what are you seeing with the offense right now?
Yeah, obviously we're not getting the job done with runners in scoring position. We're having a hard time executing in those situations. We have a couple of opportunities there with 1st and 2nd, less than 2 outs, and we couldn't come through. At times, feel like taking really good pitches to hit, being passive, and then at times chasing. So we got to start executing.
When you see what you're talking about, those types of at-bats in those spots, what does that tell you about what the guys are feeling up there?
Yeah, no, we just got to go out there with conviction, you know, not only putting together a good plan, but actually going out there and executing it, you know. And I feel like when we see guys taking really good pitches to hit early in counts and then chasing, that's a sign that we're kind of in between in situations like that, understanding that he's the one in trouble. He's the one that he's got to make pitches. And, you know, we got good hitters. We got good hitters here. I think it's just a matter of time. We got to continue to create traffic, and those guys will come through.
How strange is that to see from, obviously, the bottom of the lineup produced today, but the top of the lineup were the ones that didn't really get it done?
Yeah, I mean, they're humans, you know, and our offense, those guys go, we're going to go, you know. Yesterday, they went 0-4, I think it was. Today, Pete and Juan, just with one of them, but yeah, I mean, they're going to go through it at times, you know, and right now they're fighting, so.
Soto didn't bust it out of the box on that ball off the wall. Last night he had a play where he was a little slow getting out. Do you have to talk to him about any of that?
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk to him about it. Tonight, obviously, someone gets a hold of one and knows when he gets it, he's one, you know. And he thought he had it, you know, but with the wind and all that. And in this ballpark, or you know, anywhere, but in particular in this one, with that wall right there, you got to get out of the box. So, yeah, we'll discuss that.
And you say that at times you're chasing, but at times you're being too passive with pitches. How do you get back to the middle there? Is it hitting with conviction?
Yeah, trusting your plan, you know, just having the awareness, having a good understanding of what the pitcher's trying to do to you, and if you get a good pitch to hit, you got to go for it. And it feels like right now we're not we're not pulling the trigger when we have to with good pitches to hit.
What did you think of Senga?
I thought he settled in nicely. They attacked him first pitch of the game. Duran gets him, but then as the game went on, he continued to get better. I thought the fastball was really good. I thought the split was good. The way he used all of his pitches, bases loaded there, and didn't get a call, and continued to make pitches. Got out of it. Was able to give us 6, so I thought he was solid today.
Looked like he asked you guys for that 6th. Did that convince you to put him back out there?
I mean, the whole time I was going to ask him if he was all right, because the bottom of the line up there, I wanted to get an extra inning, and as he's coming into the dugout, it was good to see it, because I was talking to Hef about it. It's like, hey, if he feels good, we're going to send him back out. And then as I'm talking to Hef, he gave me the one more, and I was like, that was an easy decision for me.
What are you seeing in Lindor's at bat specifically of late?
Chase, I thought he chased today against a lefty. Then trying to be aggressive on the first pitch in the 8th, I think he was. But he's not going to be perfect all the time. He's too good of a player, and I feel like the past couple of days, he hasn't, he's not getting the results there. But yeah, he'll be fine.
Similar question on Pete. He was obviously so hot the first 5-6 weeks of the season. What are you seeing there?
I think he's been better. I thought for a few games he was swinging through some fastballs, but I thought yesterday he had some really good at bats. I thought today, the first at bat, I think he's coming again. So I'm seeing some good signs from Pete.
What do you make of some of the defensive errors he's made?
Yeah, it's kind of weird to see it. Especially some of the routine plays when you just got to flip the ball, maybe thinking too much about it. When they're struggling offensively, they go through stretches defensively too, and I feel like, especially just finishing the play after he catches a ball, I'm flipping the ball to the pitcher. So.
When he made that play later and kind of joked about it and had that reaction, do you read into that at all? Like, it's not in his head as much as maybe it would be, or not so much?
Not so much, but it's something that we want to continue to work with him, especially the underhand, because he had to go overhand there on a routine play when you usually just move your feet and just toss it back to the pitcher, and he decided to go overhand. So, but I think this is something that Sarvi will stay on top of it with him, and he'll get better.